What if I told you that the way you've been pleasuring yourself for years could now be silently damaging one of the most vital parts of your body? That a few simple, familiar positions you've used in private could be the very reason blood isn't reaching your penis the way it used to. This isn't just a matter of technique, it's a matter of your health, your confidence, and your future intimacy. I'm Dr. James, a men's health specialist with over 3 decades of experience helping older adults regain control over their bodies, their energy, and their bedroom performance. I've worked with thousands of men over 60, men just like you, who thought what they were doing in private was harmless, until the warning signs started showing up. Weak erections, numbness, even a gradual loss of sensation they couldn't explain. You see, it's not always what you do that causes problems. Sometimes it's the position you're in while doing it that silently causes the damage. Positions that were once comfortable in your 30s or 40s can now be cutting off circulation, compressing nerves, and slowly weakening your sexual response without you even knowing it. In this video, I'm going to reveal the 4 specific masturbation positions that men over 60 must avoid, because they directly interfere with blood flow to the penis, damage pelvic nerves, and can even contribute to long-term erectile dysfunction if ignored. You'll learn not just what to avoid, but also what to do instead. Safe, healthy techniques that support better circulation and vitality. And before we're done, I'll also share the most common mistake I've seen men make after a satisfying session. Something that feels relaxing in the moment but could sabotage your sexual health in the long run. You don't want to miss that. Let's get started. Before we continue, if you haven't subscribed yet, take a moment to do so and turn on the bell. This channel is here to help you protect your health, your confidence, and your vitality after 60. If this message speaks to you, type 1 in the comments. If it didn't hit the mark, type 0 so I know how to serve you better. Let's start with one of the most common positions men over 60 still use without realizing how dangerous it really is. It feels comfortable, harmless even, but beneath the surface it's slowly cutting off the very blood flow your manhood depends on. 1. The seated slouch on the couch or recliner. Let me tell you a story. Years ago I met a patient in his late 60s. Let's call him Robert. He was sharp, witty, and still very much interested in maintaining his independence and manhood. But he came to me one day with a quiet concern, something he hadn't shared with anyone, not even his partner. He said, "Doc, I still enjoy solo time now and then, but lately, things aren't working the way they used to. I finish, but I feel numb afterward. Sometimes my erections just don't show up." We sat down, talked through his routines, his habits, and that's when it clicked. Robert had fallen into a pattern many men do. He'd get comfortable in his recliner, leaning back, relaxed, legs spread, and pleasure himself there. What seemed like a harmless, even cozy position was, in truth, silently dismantling the very blood flow that gave him his manhood. You see, when you slouch back into a soft couch or a recliner, you're doing more than getting comfortable. You're placing constant pressure on the perineum, that sensitive area between your scrotum and anus. Beneath that skin lies the pudendal artery and pudendal nerve, 2 crucial lifelines responsible for delivering blood and signals to the penis. When compressed for too long, these vessels and nerves become restricted. Blood flow slows, oxygen delivery drops, and over time, the tissue that gives your erection strength begins to weaken. It's not just uncomfortable, it's dangerous. Think of it like stepping on a garden hose while trying to water your plants. You're still going through the motions, but the flow is gone. Your body is no different. That deep-seated position flattens your pelvic muscles, curves your spine unnaturally, and turns your entire body weight into a slow, constant force on your groin. At first, you might not notice anything, but the effects build. Reduced blood flow leads to weaker erections. Nerve compression causes a loss of sensation, and if ignored, the tissue that once filled with blood now becomes fibrotic, less elastic, less responsive. That's when men say, "It's just age." But it's not. It's mechanics. And here's the part most people don't talk about. Erectile tissue is like any muscle. If it doesn't get blood, it starts to die, slowly, quietly, day by day. You don't see it happening until one day you feel less, respond less, perform less, and by then it takes more than a pill to fix it. When I explained this to Robert, he was stunned. "You're telling me my recliner is the reason I'm losing feeling?" I looked him in the eye and said, "Yes, and it's more common than you think." Now, I'm not here to scare you for the sake of it. I'm here to wake you up. If you're over 60, your circulation is already under pressure from age-related changes. Your arteries are narrower. Your tissues are less elastic. You cannot afford to block blood flow, even for a few minutes, without consequence. The seated slouch may seem like a quiet indulgence, but it's a trap. It is actively stealing the very thing you're trying to protect, your sexual vitality. So what should you do instead? Sit upright on a firm surface. Keep your feet flat, your spine neutral, and your pelvis open, not pressed. Allow blood to flow freely. This one adjustment can restore sensation, improve recovery, and protect the health of your erections long term. Robert made the change. Within weeks, he reported stronger sensation and better control, not because of medication, not because of magic, but because he stopped crushing the very arteries that fed his manhood. And now I'm asking you, will you do the same? Will you protect the blood flow that keeps your strength alive? Because the next position we're going to talk about is even more deceptive. It feels intense, maybe even nostalgic, but it can crush your erectile arteries flat against your own body. You don't want to miss it. 2. The belly down grind, face down on the bed. There's something about lying face down that feels private, almost instinctual. For many men, especially those who started exploring their bodies in their teens, this position brings back a strange sense of comfort. You're hidden, supported by the mattress, and everything seems quiet. But if you're over 60 and still using this technique, I need to be brutally honest with you. This position is not just wrong for your age, it's downright dangerous, and I've seen it ruin more men than you might believe. Let me walk you through what actually happens when you press your pelvis into the bed during masturbation. Whether you're using your hands or relying on the friction of the mattress itself, the moment you lie flat on your stomach, you are compressing the entire vascular structure that supplies your penis. Specifically, you're pressing directly against the dorsal artery, the main vessel that delivers oxygen-rich blood to the erectile tissue. With the weight of your own body, you are shutting off that vital flow, literally squeezing the life out of your manhood. And it doesn't stop there. When you're in this position, you're also placing immense pressure on the penile shaft while erect, bending it downward in a way it was never designed to handle. Erections require unobstructed circulation and room to expand. But when you're pressed against a mattress, the blood has nowhere to go. The tissue becomes stressed, and over time, this stress causes microdamage, tiny tears that you can't feel immediately but accumulate with repetition. The result? Reduced sensitivity, shorter erections, increased recovery time, and in some cases a much more serious condition known as venous leakage, where blood enters the penis but can't stay there. Men often tell me, "I can still get hard, but I can't stay hard." That, my friend, is one of the most devastating and difficult issues to reverse, and it's often born from repeated mechanical damage like this. I remember one man in particular, a retired firefighter in his early 70s. He'd been using the belly-down method for decades, never thinking twice about it. It felt easier, more controlled, he told me. But over the years, he began losing sensation. Erections weren't the same. Eventually, even intimacy with his wife became frustrating. When I asked him about his habits, and he admitted to this position, I explained the science. He stared at me for a long time and said, "I never would have imagined something that felt so natural could cause so much harm." But it does. Because at this stage of life, our bodies aren't as forgiving. The arteries are more fragile. The nerves are more easily compressed. The tissue doesn't bounce back the way it used to. And when we lie face down, the penis becomes a pressure point, one that takes the full brunt of our body weight again and again. So what's the solution? First, avoid this position entirely. It may feel discreet or familiar, but it is one of the quickest ways to damage your most sensitive vascular structures. Instead, shift to a posture that relieves pressure, like lying on your side or sitting upright with support beneath your thighs. Give your body room to breathe, to flow, to respond the way it was meant to. You'll not only protect yourself from long-term harm, you may actually feel better, stronger, more responsive in the days and weeks that follow. And let me say this clearly, it's never too late to change. I've seen men in their 70s, even 80s, reclaim their circulation by simply giving up damaging habits like this one. Your body can heal, but only if you stop hurting it. Now, if you think this face-down position is dangerous, wait until you hear what happens when you're standing, hunched forward, gripping too tightly in the shower. It may feel powerful, but the damage it causes inside your penis is something no man should ignore. Stay with me. What you're about to learn could change everything. 3. The tight grip and hunched posture, standing or bent forward in the shower. Let me be honest with you, this one might feel familiar. Maybe it's your go-to habit because it's private, quick, and easily cleaned up. Maybe it's something you started doing years ago and it's stuck because it just works. You stand in the shower, water running, head down, one hand moving tight and fast, hunched slightly forward with your knees locked. You probably don't think twice about it. But I'm going to tell you something that may stop you cold. This position is one of the most damaging things you can do to your penis after 60. Now, I get it. You're not doing anything extreme. You're just trying to stay in touch with yourself, to keep your body responsive, to feel that small spark of youth. But there's a hidden price you're paying, and it has everything to do with how your body is positioned while you're doing it. Let's break it down. When you're standing up in the shower, hunched forward and gripping tightly, 3 dangerous things are happening simultaneously. First, your entire upper body weight is being funneled down into your pelvic floor. That forward-leaning angle, combined with tightened core muscles, creates downward pressure that compresses the blood vessels and nerves around your groin. You're essentially pressing down on the very arteries responsible for delivering oxygen-rich blood to your penis. Second, that tight grip, something many men develop out of habit or out of a need for more sensation, acts like a slow-moving tourniquet. It traps blood inside the shaft, but it also prevents fresh circulation from entering. This causes what's known as vascular stasis, where the blood becomes stale, oxygen-deprived, and over time leads to tissue fatigue. Think of it like choking a plant at the stem. It might still look upright for a while, but it's slowly dying from the inside out. Third, the act of standing while clenching your lower body, especially with your knees slightly bent or locked, disrupts venous return, meaning the blood that should be leaving your penis and recycling through your system becomes sluggish. This imbalance between arterial inflow and venous outflow leads to long-term vascular strain, which is one of the top causes of erectile dysfunction in older men. I once treated a former construction worker in his early 60s. Strong guy, used to physical work, proud of his endurance. But he told me his erections didn't last, even though he could still get them. When we talked about his habits, he revealed that this exact shower position had become his daily routine. I explained how it was hurting him more than helping, and I'll never forget his response. "You mean I've been breaking it and didn't even know it?" Yes, that's exactly what so many men are doing without realizing it. Let me say this plainly. This position is extremely dangerous for the aging male body. It combines vascular compression, poor posture, and high physical tension in a way that slowly erodes your sexual health. It doesn't matter how fit you are or how good your intentions may be. The blood can't flow when your body is folded over and your grip is clamped tight. And without blood flow, there is no erection, no sensation, no recovery, just damage. But here's the good news. Just as quickly as this damage builds, you can stop it in its tracks. Adjust your posture, relax your grip, stop hunching forward and tensing your core. If you must use the shower, keep your spine straight, your knees loose, and use gentle rhythmic motion. Give your blood vessels the space and softness they need to function. I've seen men reclaim strength and sensitivity within weeks by doing nothing more than changing how they stand and how they breathe. And I know it's hard. Change is uncomfortable, but you didn't come this far in life to let a bad habit rob you of your manhood. You deserve better. Now, as dangerous as this position is, the next one might surprise you even more because it doesn't even seem physical at first. In fact, it often happens while you're just relaxing with the device on your lap. But what it's doing to your blood flow? It's something you can't afford to ignore. Let me explain. 4. The cross-legged chair. Lean, laptop or mobile use. There's a scene I've seen too many times to count. A man, mid-60s or older, sitting quietly in a soft chair. Legs crossed, back slightly curved, phone in one hand, the other hidden beneath a blanket or desk. It looks innocent. Comfortable even. No physical strain, no noise, no pressure, at least not that you can feel immediately. But I'm here to tell you the truth. This position might be the most quietly dangerous of them all. Because while it doesn't look intense on the surface, what it's doing deep within your pelvis, to the arteries and nerves that keep you alive as a man, is anything but harmless. Let's start with your legs. When you sit cross-legged, especially on a soft cushion, you compress the femoral artery in your inner thigh. That artery is one of the main highways delivering blood to the pelvic region, including the penis. When it's blocked, even partially, you reduce the amount of oxygenated blood that can flow into the genitals. And without that flow, your erectile tissue begins to starve. Quietly, slowly, sometimes without warning. Add to that the position of your spine. Most men in this habit hunch forward slightly, toward a screen, or simply to stay discreet. This seemingly minor curve in your back shifts the weight of your upper body downward into the pelvis, pressing on the perineum, just like the recliner position we talked about earlier. But now it's worse, because your legs are crossed, meaning your hips are twisted and your pelvic floor is tilted at an angle that's unnatural and strained. Over time, this triple combination, crossed legs, hunched spine, and groin compression, doesn't just interrupt circulation. It trains your body to become rigid in all the wrong ways. The blood vessels narrow, the nerves become inflamed, and the result? Decreased sensitivity, weakening erections, and in some cases a lingering ache or numbness that lingers long after you're done. I remember one gentleman, an author in his early 70s, who told me he preferred this position because it allowed him to multitask. "I can read, relax, and still enjoy myself," he said. But what he didn't realize was that he was making a long-term sacrifice for short-term convenience. After several months, he noticed that he no longer felt the same intensity during stimulation. Then it became harder to achieve an erection altogether. He blamed stress, blamed age, even blamed his medications. But the culprit was much simpler and much closer to home. When I showed him how sitting cross-legged while leaning forward physically narrowed the arteries feeding his penis, he was shocked. "You're telling me this is cutting off my blood flow?" he asked. I said, "Not just cutting it off, it's training your body to restrict it, even when you're not in that position." That's how dangerous it is. You're not just damaging your function in the moment, you're teaching your blood vessels to constrict, your pelvic nerves to go quiet, your body to weaken from within. And the scariest part? You feel almost nothing while it's happening. But there is a way out. Sit with both feet flat on the floor. Support your lower back with a small cushion. Keep your spine long and your pelvis open, and never cross your legs during stimulation. It may feel less private or less discreet, but it will protect the blood flow that gives your manhood life. You're not here to hide, you're here to heal. And here's something to consider. When you damage blood flow over time, your body starts to lose confidence, not just in bed, but everywhere. The body follows the blood, and when your circulation fades, so does your energy, your strength, your will. But it's not too late. One simple change in posture could mean the difference between slow decline and long-term vitality. And if you think these physical positions are dangerous, wait until you hear the mental mistake most older men make immediately after they finish. A habit that seems harmless but can sabotage your hormones and performance for days. Let's talk about that next. 5. Safe techniques that support circulation and performance. I want to pause here and shift the energy for a moment, not to talk about damage, but about hope. Because the truth is, many older men come to me feeling defeated. They've unknowingly hurt their circulation, fallen into bad habits, and started believing their best days are behind them. But they're wrong. And if you're reading this, you're not too late either. In fact, what you do next could change everything. After working with thousands of men over 60, I've learned something powerful. You don't need to be 25 again to feel like a man. You just need to support your body in the right way, starting with how you touch it, how you move it, and how you protect it from the inside out. That begins with choosing safe, circulation-friendly techniques, simple changes that keep the blood flowing, the nerves alive, and the confidence strong. The first shift I often recommend is what I call the release the grip method. Most older men develop a habit of holding themselves too tightly during stimulation. Maybe it's to compensate for reduced sensitivity or just out of muscle memory. But the tighter your grip, the more you restrict the tiny blood vessels within the shaft of your penis. Think of it like pinching a garden hose while trying to water a plant. You might get a short burst, but you're choking the life out of it long term. A lighter, more rhythmic motion not only protects those vessels, it actually increases sensation over time because you're encouraging flow, not blocking it. Second, I can't stress enough the importance of your posture. Whether you're sitting or lying down, your position determines whether your arteries are open highways or shut down back roads. Avoid reclining too far back or folding forward at the waist. These angles compress the pelvis and reduce circulation. Instead, aim for a neutral spine. Sit upright on a firm surface or lie on your back with a pillow under your knees. You want your pelvis open, your lower back supported, and your legs uncrossed. Blood needs space to move. Give it room, and it will. Third, breathe. Yes, it sounds basic, but I've met so many men who unconsciously hold their breath during stimulation. When you tense your core, clench your jaw, and lock your breathing, you put your entire nervous system in fight or flight mode. That constriction tells your blood vessels to tighten and your muscles to guard. Instead, focus on slow, deep breathing. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Let your body soften. Let the blood move. You're not racing to the finish line. You're reconnecting with yourself. Another forgotten technique is warming up your body before you even begin. I often suggest massaging the lower abdomen, inner thighs, and hips for just a minute or two. This gets the blood flowing to your pelvic region and sends a signal to your brain that this is a moment of care, not tension. Just like athletes stretch before they move, your vascular system performs better when it's warmed up. Lastly, shift your mindset. This is where so many men struggle. They focus on intensity, outcome, or feeling something fast. But that thinking creates pressure, and pressure leads to strain. Instead, approach this time with curiosity and respect. You're not trying to prove anything. You're learning what your body needs at this stage in life, and that's a beautiful thing. When men embrace that mindset, their results often surprise them. More sensation, better control, deeper connection, not just physically, but emotionally. I've seen men in their 70s reclaim strength and performance just by making these changes. No medication, no surgery, just awareness and action. That's the key. Awareness opens the door, but action keeps it open. So let me ask you, are you ready to take that action? Because up next, I'm going to show you exactly what to do starting today. Not next week, not next month. If you want to protect your blood flow, strengthen your erections, and feel more like yourself again, the next step is simple, practical, and starts now. Let's talk about it. 6. What you need to do today. If you've made it this far, that already tells me something important about you. You care. You're not here out of passing curiosity. You're here because something inside you knows that now is the time to act. Maybe you've been feeling changes in your body. Maybe your erections aren't what they used to be. Maybe you've been silently wondering whether this is just part of getting older, or if there's something you can do about it. I'm here to tell you, you're not powerless. You never were. But the truth is, time doesn't wait. What you do today matters. And when it comes to your blood flow, your sexual health, and your long-term vitality, there are no shortcuts, but there are simple steps. Steps that, if taken seriously, can help you protect what's most important before it's too late. So let's start right now. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. First, I want you to make a firm decision to stop using at least one of the dangerous positions we've just talked about. Whether it's the belly-down grind, the tight grip shower stance, the recliner slouch, or the cross-legged chair lean, pick the one you know you're guilty of and let it go. It may have become a habit. It may even feel good in the moment, but you now know what it's doing beneath the surface. And knowing that, continuing the habit would only lead to regret. Give your body a chance to heal. It wants to, but it can't unless you stop the damage. Next, I want you to choose one safe technique from the previous section and try it today. Not next time, today. Try using a lighter grip. Try adjusting your posture so your back is straight and your pelvis is open. Try breathing deeply and staying relaxed instead of rushing or clenching. Don't aim for performance, just aim for presence. Notice how your body responds when it's no longer under pressure or strain. You might be surprised by how much more you feel, not less. Then take a few minutes to reflect. Be honest with yourself. Ask, how have my habits changed over the years? Have I been listening to my body or ignoring its warnings? Am I giving myself the respect I deserve in this stage of life? This isn't about shame or guilt, it's about clarity. You cannot change what you won't acknowledge. But once you see it clearly, you gain the power to change everything. Now I want you to do something that might feel a little uncomfortable. Share this knowledge with someone who needs it. Maybe it's a friend, a partner, a support group, or even just leaving a comment for other men like you to read. There are so many older men suffering silently. They don't talk about it. They think they're the only ones. But they're not. And hearing that someone else is taking steps to improve their health might be the very thing that gives them the courage to do the same. We're not meant to walk this road alone. And finally, make this personal. This isn't just about sexual performance. It's about energy. It's about self-worth. It's about freedom. When your blood flows well, your mind is sharper, your body is stronger, and your confidence grows. You walk differently. You speak differently. You live with a quiet power that other people can feel. That starts with circulation. It starts with protecting the nerves and vessels that fuel your vitality, and it starts with how you treat your body, not once in a while, but every single day. So what do you need to do today? You need to act. Choose one thing to stop. Choose one thing to start, and commit to being more aware, more compassionate, and more intentional with your body. You're not too old. You're just wiser now, and that wisdom can guide you into a chapter of strength you didn't know was still possible. Now, if you're ready for the next level, stay with me, because up next, we're going to talk about the single most overlooked mistake men make after they finish, and why it could be secretly sabotaging your hormone levels and weakening your erections for days. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Your power isn't gone. It's waiting to be protected. If you've stayed with me through this entire journey, I want you to pause and recognize something powerful. You've already taken the first step most men never do. You've chosen to learn, to understand, to confront the quiet habits that may have been quietly harming your body for years, and that makes you different. It makes you brave. What we've talked about here today goes far beyond technique. Yes, we named the positions that damage blood flow. Yes, we explored the science behind how pressure, posture, and grip can erode your sensitivity and weaken your erections over time, but beneath all of that is something more important, a message every man over 60 needs to hear. You are still in control. Aging doesn't mean surrender. It means adjustment. It means listening more carefully to the signals your body sends. It means letting go of habits that no longer serve you and embracing new ones that protect the parts of you that matter most. Your vitality, your confidence, your sense of self. You are not broken. You are not done. You are evolving. And this moment right here is your invitation to evolve with intention. The truth is, your blood flow is your lifeline to your strength, to your energy, to your manhood. And the decisions you make about how you treat your body, even in the most private moments, will either support that flow or slowly take it away. You can't afford to stay in the dark anymore. You've seen what's at stake. So today, choose better. Sit upright, loosen your grip, breathe deeply, protect your circulation like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. Choose to honor your body not just by avoiding what's harmful, but by practicing what's healing. It's not about performance, it's about preservation. And when you protect your blood flow, you preserve something no pill can replace: your power. If this message resonated with you, if even one part of this helped you see things more clearly, then take action. Don't just listen, don't just agree, apply. And if you know another man who needs to hear this, pass it on. Because the silence around this issue is costing us more than we realize. You've made it this far for a reason. You're not giving up. You're rising up. With knowledge, with clarity, with purpose. Now go out and live like you mean it. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.